everyone, this is Maki. Are you enjoying episode 8 of GQuuuuuuX? Let's take a closer look at some intriguing elements from this episode. We might just uncover some hints about what's coming next in the story. Before we begin, I have a quick announcement. My channel now offers membership support. For just 99 cents a month, you can get a name badge and comment stamps. Alright, let's begin the analysis. How are the subtitles displayed for episode 8 in your region? In Japanese, different characters are used for the first and second halves of the episode. However, the pronunciation is exactly the same. Both versions are read as Tsuki Nyojiru. If translated directly into English, it would be something like falling to the moon. The meaning is more or less the same on the surface. However, in Japanese, each character carries its own nuance. Let's start with the first half of the episode. The kanji used here suggests a physical fall. It's the same character used in context like a meteor falling to Earth. In the first half of the episode, there's a military operation to drop the space fortress Solomon onto a lunar city. Did you notice something interesting? The operation to drop Solomon actually fails. Technically, it didn't fall to the moon. This ties back to something I've mentioned a few times. On my show, director Mr. Maki said that the central theme of GQuuuuuuX is the real and the fake. Could the disconnect between the subtitle and the actual events be a reflection of that theme? Or maybe the word fall wasn't referring to Solomon at all? What meaning is hidden in the character used for the second half of the episode? This time, the character refers to a spiritual or moral fall or loss of status. It is often used in contexts such as an angel who fell and became a demon in mythology, while the first half used a character representing a physical phenomenon. The second half uses a character that carries psychological or emotional meaning. In this part of the story, Nyann joins the Zeon forces and gradually gains Kisilia Zobi's favor. Given that Nyann is clearly at the center of the narrative, it makes sense to interpret the subtitle as referring to her. She is welcomed as a new type and receives a luxurious lifestyle far from her days as a refugee. At first glance, it seems like she's improving her situation. However, recall what she shouts during the fight against the Dom. "I'm free!" Doesn't that seem ironic, given how little freedom she has in the Zeon military? Then there's the word Diablo that Miguel mentions. In many cultures, it symbolizes the devil. Nyann has gained comfort and status in Zeon. But is this situation genuine? In many stories, devils lure people by offering tempting rewards or glamorous illusions. When we reflect on Nyann's current state with this in mind and read the subtitle, we might just uncover some key insights into where the story is headed. Episode 8 revealed some important information. With so many intense details flying around, it's possible that some people missed a few things. One key moment was the conversation between Nyann and Ixabi. Ixabi asked her how did you want to pilot a mobile suit? Nyann replied there just happened to be one in front of me when I was escaping from Side 2. This is a hugely significant piece of information. Side 2 was utterly devastated by Zeon during the Universal Century 0079 war. Zeon had declared war on the Earth Federation. However, the aggression extended to space colonies that showed no support for Zeon. They launch brutal and inhumane attacks on Site 2, including the use of nuclear weapons and poison gas. Tragically, most of the victims were civilians. This event is often described as the worst massacre in human history. This event instilled deep-rooted prejudice against Zeon in the universal century world. The space colony that Zeon dropped onto Earth also belonged to Site 2. It was sent down loaded with the bodies of its residents. To Nyan, Zeon is the enemy who destroyed her home and took away her family and friends. If we look back at the meaning behind the episode's subtitle that we discussed earlier, it's no wonder some viewers are left with complicated emotions. Now, siding with the Belly group that took everything from her, Nyan, you could definitely call that a kind of fall from grace or moral downfall. There's another angle to consider, too. It's possible that the Zeon civilian population in GQuuuuuuX doesn't know about the Zeon massacre of Site 2. In episode 6, we hear a crew member aboard the battleship Sodonsei. The Earth's Federation's Intelligence Bureau uses poison gas. They're a dangerous group. Fans of the Gundam series probably laughed a little at that thinking. Well, Zeon did the same thing, didn't they? Then in episode 8, after hearing Nyan's words, Ixabi reacts by saying, "That's hard to hear." Did that response seem strange to you? Ixabi is an honest and straightforward guy. He doesn't handle lies or political scheming well. Even the Zeon agent he spoke with on Site 6 said as much. Ixabi's response to Nyan was so light-hearted and natural, so his reaction felt a little off. Could Ixabi genuinely not know that Zeon used poison gas to massacre civilians? Maybe it's not just him. Maybe most ordinary Zeon citizens believe Site 2 was destroyed as collateral damage from the war with the Federation. Even in the original Universal Century, operations involving poison gas were carried out by people from rural areas far from the capital, and they were often blamed for war crimes. Now that Nyan has a brand new mobile suit at her command, what will she do with that power? Now, let's take a closer look at a few more details. Pay attention to what Char says during his battle with the Earth's Federation fleet. When he realizes his bits are low on propellant, he crushes them into enemy warships like missiles. At that moment, he exclaims they're useless inside Solomon anyway. Char judged that the bits wouldn't function effectively inside the confined space of the space fortress. But what about Nyan? She uses a weapon similar to bits inside a mobile suit hangar. Not just any hangar though, it's on the moon. The moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. This means she is controlling them in a tight, gravity-filled space. She hits Miguel with a beam at close range. If that shot had been slightly off, it could have endangered her life. So, what does this suggest? Has the technology behind the Psychomu system advanced dramatically? Or has Nyan awakened as a new type, surpassing even Char? How do you interpret this element? Now, a small but interesting note. Earlier, I referred to Nyan's weapon as something similar to a bit. Bits are remote weapons that contain their own reactors, such as fusion generators. Because they carry internal generators, these tend to be quite large. A similar weapon is the funnel. Funnels are miniaturized bits that can be mounted directly on mobile suits. They achieve this downsizing by using a component called an energy cap, which stores energy for later use. The weapons Nyan used were stored in the head of her mobile suit. Given how compact they are, there's a good chance they're funnels. This episode revealed so many fascinating details. How do you interpret the meaning of episode 8's subtitle? What will happen to Nyan from here? The story is really heating up, and I can't take my eyes off it. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I'll see you on the next episode.